Hello, Keerthi. I have decided to condense pretty much just every Jinshi thing related into one video in order to save me a shit ton of Google Photos room, because I don't have that much. So we're going to start off with Jinshi build. So what you're going to want is crit rate, crit damage, and attack. That's the only three important stats. And if at all possible, you can get resonant skill damage. I don't know why I have so much basic attack. It's not really important. And you're also going to want spectro damage. How in the world do I have havoc? Not important. This is her best weapon because it boosts resonant skill, which is like 80 to 90% of her damage. It's ridiculous how much resonant skill does. You're going to want her, so this should be crit damage because the weapon is crit rate. You're going to want crit damage, crit rate on all of these. If you have to pick one, I'd say go for crit rate, and that's mainly because if you miss your resonant skill damage, it's like one shot out of like a billion, so you want to make sure that actually hits. However, if you can, get both. For this one, I don't have crit rate, and that's because I already have enough crit rate to compensate not having crit damage. And instead, so that Echo has crit damage and attack to help boost the damage, but typically you're going to want more crit rate because you want to make sure that shot actually hits. So this should be a 4-3-3-1-1. You're going to want spectre damage on both of these, basically just buffing her. Attack and attack. So this, when you use it, if the resonator performs a resonant skill, it deals sustained spectre damage, aka just catered towards Jinshi. This set, the Celestial Light, boosts spectre damage, and upon using intro skill, spectre damage increases, etc. You get it. Alright, so you're going to want to do resonant skill first, liberation, and then the rest doesn't actually matter. I'd say go attack, forte, then intro. When you do the outro, pretty much Jinshi may now gain the this is just like the forte. It's a complicated name. Yeah. So this is not really important because, I mean, this is kind of important if you are using Verina, but more often than not, you're using a sub DPS to get all the forte out. This is really useful to have because you can gain some stuff. Yeah. I don't know. It's not. None of this is important. Just ignore this bit. I don't know what I'm saying. This is my third time recording. So we have sub DPSs, and you're gonna want, so any character you pick that goes along with Jinshi, with one exception, is going to have coordinated attack. They all need to have it in order for her to fill up her forte, or she can do her resonant skill damage. So her best one is Zhezhi. I'm gonna go over it quickly because you don't really have her. Best weapon, just because almost all her damage is basic attack. Since it's crit damage, we do crit rate. All sub DPS for Jinshi will have the Moonlit Set Cloud. This should be crit rate. Glacio damage, energy regen. So you can either do 2 energy regens in order to make it comfy, so you have just quicker rotations, or you can do a Glacio, whatever element they are, damage bonus plus energy regen, and then attacks. What you're going to want is crit rate, crit damage on all of them, and then energy regen on as many of them as possible. Most of them have a threshold they need to hit. Typically, just play with it, whatever you can comfortably do a rotation on. For this character, get her Resonance Liberation on, because that's where most of her damage comes from. And the reason she's the best for Jinshi is because she amplifies resonant skill damage by 25%, which is insane. Yeah, but you don't have her Keerthi, so this character does not matter. If you get her and you still really love Jinshi, then pull for her. She makes the world of difference. For the next best sub DPS, you're going to want Yinlin. Get that crit damage, crit rate, energy regen. Attack is always good, but again, the purpose of this character is just for the coordinated attack. This is her best weapon. Since that's crit rate, you're going to want crit damage, crit rate, energy regen, and attack, if at all possible. So this one, you can have electric damage bonus. I personally have 2 energy regens because I find it easier and more comfortable to play. But if I did want to do damage, I would have to swap one of these for electric, but I don't care about that, so yeah. So basically, with this character, when you do an outro skill, it amplifies electric damage and resonance liberation damage. Both of these are not that great for Jinshi. Resonance liberation is decent, but it's not what we're looking for. The main reason she's pretty good is because of her coordinated attacks. Because of that, you're going to want to upgrade this mill right here, because that's where most of the off-stage like lightning comes from. Yeah, and just a reminder, you want this set, the Moonlit Set Clouds, because increase resonance energy and increase next character's damage, increases energy regen, and then increases attack of next resonator. The next one is Mortefi. This one is just ridiculously easy to play, and he's not like high investment either. You have to put like some into it, but it's not important. Energy regen, crit rate, crit damage. As you can see, my crit damage is pretty low because I don't care about his damage. Yeah. I would swap this one out for the one Yinlin has, which would probably improve the crit damage by a lot to making it like substantial. But yeah, you're gonna want crit rate, crit damage, energy regen. He's basically just cycle character. He doesn't actually do that much damage. With that being said, you want to upgrade his resonance liberation because that's where most of his damage comes from. His outro is also completely useless for Jinshi. Heavy attack damage is not something Jinshi does. She actually, if you're gonna have to pick, you go with resonant skill. If that doesn't work, resonance liberation. If that doesn't work, then basic. Heavy damage you almost never use, so it's useless. For Mortefi, you're going to want to get to S4, sorry, not S4, S5, because it shoots out 4 Resonance Liberation Mercado, which means more coordinated attacks, which means more Forte for Jinshi. S6 is pretty good, increases attack of all team members, but it's not necessary. None of this is necessary, but S5 would really help. For this guy, Fedora, man, because I can't say his name, you need literally nothing. You don't need any fancy weapons. You don't need any echoes. You don't need any skills. That's because he is the lowest investment character you can possibly... Ignore this. This is useless. Oops. You just need to use him once, and I'll show you in a quick demonstration in a bit. He is the lowest investment and really easy to use. And my phone is dying. Unfortunate. This is going to be a pain in the butt later. Oh. Sorry. Alright. So, for the supports, you only have... Well, you have 3 supports you could work with. So, you could use Shorekeeper, Verina, and Zhezhi. I don't actually know. Yeah. Coordinated attacks here. Coordinated attack. The only character that is actually okay to use Jinshi without coordinated attack is Shorekeeper. No coordinated attack. And I'll explain why in a second. Oh, I am on 4%. Let's figure out this charger situation. Why? Just 1 second. Alright, so, as I was saying, so with Shorekeeper, you're going to want pretty much just all HP, because literally everything she has scales off of HP. You're going to want HP in at least, so 230% is what you actually need if you have her weapon. Well, sorry, not if you have her weapon. Weapon and then her Echo. Yeah, because they give energy regen. However, I suggest just getting 250. That's what most people say. It's just more comfortable to play that way, and it's not as tight of a rotation. So, this is not really important. It's just you get more heals, more attacks, etc., etc. Right, you're going to want a rejuvenating glow set. Increases healing, increases attack, and this increases energy regen and gives extra attack. You're just going to want crit damage and HP percentage. Nothing else matters. Energy regen, but after you get energy regen, HP percentage and then crit damage. And the only reason why you do not care about crit rate is because if you read the description of the intro skill, it says guaranteed to be a critical hit dealing resonance liberation damage. So crit rate means nothing, and all her other attacks do 0 damage, so it doesn't matter. And the only reason you can use this character is because of Zhezhi, who gives so much coordinated attack that she actually manages to make up for the fact that Shorekeeper does not have a coordinated attack. That's the only real reason you would use her. You can use her in any team realistically, you just may not get as much resonant skill damage as you'd like, unless you have like a really good rotation. But it might take a little longer than if you just used Verina. Alright, the only things you want to upgrade are resonant skill, liberation, and intro skill. These two are not important. If you want more damage, intro skill. If you want more healing, do liberation first, then resonant skill. This has more healing. This is more of a burst healing, which will do maybe 4,000 healing. This will do a little bit of healing over a long period of time. So yeah. And then her outro, I don't actually think it matters. You can read this if you'd like. It doesn't matter. The only important part is damage is amplified by 15%. That's it. And then for Verina, who is probably the best for Jinshi, you're going to want energy regen and attack. That's about it. So for this character, you have a couple options. Her best weapon is actually, I believe it's the 5-star one that you can pull from the regular banner. I don't have it. I'm pulling for it. So what you can do is you can either pick this one, or this one. In my personal opinion, I choose this one because it increases energy regen. However, Verina does scale off of attack. So you're going to want this one if you want to do more attack. However, I think Verina doesn't need to heal all that much. I personally just like to get a rotation out of the way. But she is an extremely quick character, so it doesn't really matter. But I do prefer this. So you're going to want the Rejuvenating Glow again, but you're going to want the Bellborn instead because it gives you like a mini shield. You're going to want healing bonus instead of like crit damage or HP. So you're going to do crit damage. Well, okay, sorry, no, not crit damage. Healing bonus, and then the only thing you really care about is energy regen and attack. That's it. But mostly just energy regen. But yeah. These two are attack, unlike most healers, which have HP. And these two are energy regen, because that's all you really care about. For this character, I may have forgotten to go over it. You can either do HP percentage or crit damage. Healing bonus is not a good idea to get. You're going to want crit damage, energy regens here, and then at the bottom, HP. Yeah, that's pretty much it for that. And then what else? Right. Her outro, I forgot to talk about this in previous videos. So, heal incoming resonator for 19% of Verina's attack, which is what I was saying. And then all resonators have damage amplified by 15%. And then I believe... Yeah, so this heals based off of attack, like this. Resonant skill. So this one you have to like jump in the air and then like... Or sorry, this heals. This does not heal, hold up. I'm thinking about something else, but it's not important. Pretty much Verina's whole thing is crit damage crit attack. I can't talk. Attack increase. Shorekeeper is increased damage, increased crit rate, increased crit damage, increased crit rate, and yeah. However, hers takes a longer time to get there. Verina's is attack the entire time, and she's quicker rotation, and she has coordinated attack. So, you know, choose what you will. But yeah, and then I'll show you some teams in Tower of Adversity. Oh, it's 2 o'clock. Okay, here we go. So for the first team is her best team is Zhezhi, and you can either do Verina or Shorekeeper. I prefer Shorekeeper because Zhezhi is actually just spams so much coordinated attack, and I like having the extra crit rate and the crit damage. So we're going to start off with the ult to get the extra coordinated attack. For Shorekeeper, hold on. Let's actually restart. So let me talk about the rotations first. Alright, so you're gonna ult to get coordinated attack, and then with Shorekeeper, you're going to, so you see this forte at the bottom? Once you get that full, you can either do a plunge attack, or you can do a black hole. In either scenario, right, you're just going to want to do that so you can fill up your concerto. Most people prefer doing the black hole, right? So in order to do an animation cancel to quicken the pace, you're going to hold it and then dodge immediately. And then you should still get a higher concerto, but since mine's already full, can't really see that. So the resonant skill does healing based off of, you see those little blue spots right here? Those are like the butterflies, and then they all attack, and then your healing is based off of both HP and how many butterflies you have. Alright, so hold, dodge, that's how you do an animation cancel. And then this echo, so you can hold it and do like a little JoJo's Bizarre, and she's dead. Whoops. Yeah. So your typical rotation might look something like, oops. And then liberation, and then you can do the echo whenever. I like doing it at the end because that means the next Resonators get like attack for longer, which is nice. And then for Zhezhi, it's literally just liberation. Let's get Shorekeeper out of the way real quick. Right. And then you see those fortes at the bottom. We're going to want to fill those up. Resonant skill, attack, resonant skill, attack, resonant skill, attack, resonant skill. And then Heron, and then Jinshi. And then you can just kind of spam. It doesn't even matter. Just keep spamming until you get those 2 resonant skill circles out of the way. Liberation, etc. And then you can swap back to Zhezhi to get that over with. And then, so you can go about this a couple of ways. So you could have done what I just did and just gotten more coordinated attack, or you could do it like this, where you can just swap to Shorekeeper, get the intro skill, and do a shit ton of damage. Either way, it's fine. It's up to your opinion. Personally, I would suggest going back to Shorekeeper. Sorry, not... Yeah, Shorekeeper. To get that extra damage, and then just going back to... I'm not even paying attention. Back to Zhezhi to do coordinated, because she fills up pretty quickly. This is the top team for Jinshi, and I'll show you what it looks like, because I'm terrible at explaining, but you might better understand if I just show you.
Witness the art's freeform. I engraft in you.
I messed up.
Strike is one. Take four. Blessed end. Thunder guide us. Oath from the heart. Loading. Astral modulation. Artem Veil. A new technique.
Oh. Mess it up.
Sacred light.
What? That guy was invulnerable? Makes no sense. Alright.
In war with time.
This was not a good demonstration by any stretch of the imagination, so I'm just going to leave, because it doesn't really matter. You don't have Zhezhi, so, you know. Once you do get Zhezhi, I'm sure you'll have already learned her rotation by then.
Onwards.
Alright, for the next character, we're going to do this team. Where are you? Alright. And as you probably already know, resonant skill twice, and you can immediately swap to Verina after you hit the second time. So you can use her forte in one of 2 ways. Heavy or aerial. Both activate it, both are good. Resonant skill here, hold forte, liberation. Resonant skill. And then what you can do here is hit your echo and immediately swap. And the buff should still apply.
Evil be cleansed. Oh, stars, heed my calling.
Alright, and here you can actually just swap back to Yinlin. Fill that up. Using basic attacks. Hold Liberation.
Time to wrap.
Resident skill. Swap back.
Our love
And just try to get this out as quickly as possible.
let it end.
Swap to Verina.
Luminous energy.
Yinlin. Hold Liberation.
It's our curtain call. Your time's over.
Swap to Echo. Swap real quick. Oop, forgot to dodge. Echo just whenever you want. And bam! That's Yinlin. Alright, for Mortefi. Alright, we're gonna start off with Liberation to get that Arcados, I think they're called. But we're just gonna swap to Verina just to get her out of the way. Dodge. Alright. Intro. Echo swap.
Take hold. Evil be cleansed. Heaven ordains. Banish all vice.
And then we're gonna swap back to Mortefi. Get Liberation out. Swap back. And as you can see, it's still shooting out, which is filling up her forte.
Let it end.
Swap back to Verina.
Luminous energy.
Mortefi. Resident skill, resident skill. Resident skill, and as you notice, every time I fill up my forte bar, it gives me another resident skill,
Instant.
which is great.
Evil be cleansed.
And that's that. Alright, now for the final one, which is like the lowest like investment that you could possibly do. We have Yuanwu. Or, no, that's not even how to say his name. So all you do is you place that little pillar right in the middle. That's his entire gimmick.
Strike is one.
As long as you or the enemy is in it, you still do coordinated attack, as lightning will literally just strike down. It's a weird gimmick, but hey, it works.
Oh, stars, heed my calling. Together we fight.
Joint operation.
Take hold. Evil be cleansed.
Yeah. The only downside is you have to constantly move it, but it's not too bad.
Bask in the sunlight. Strike is one. Yeah!
It is a bit slower than the others. However, it is extremely low investment and works like a charm.
Joint operation.
Just make sure you don't die.
Together we fight. Our lights shine through. Bright, thunder guide us.
There you go. There's that. Hope I didn't bore you. And best of luck building your team so we can win. Adios.